Aloha guys, Stupid Chris here. You know, since 2016 when I started to make videos, I explained to people how I modify my Palomar knots. My Palomar knots are the strongest knots you can possibly do for hooks and swivels. And there's a drawback. For lighter line, it could be braid, especially when it's wet, or even monofilament. The monofilament has a slick coating, these knots have a tendency to slip when it's wet. Okay, so I have a way of modifying those knots so when you use them on a hook or a swivel, it will not slip. And I go all the way up to the bigger swivels, bigger hooks, and it works just fine. I never had one break at the knot yet using my modified system. And you know, everybody keeps asking me about that, like what brands. And I'm not going to share what brands break more than others because I already know it is not fair to do that to other companies. So I won't do that. But I will show you. It's been in all my videos, time and again, for all these years. But I don't think I've made a video just to show that. It's always in part of a video, like going whipping, going dunking, going plugging, where I make the knots on location. So let me show you my two. I have two modified knots that have worked over the years for me. So I will be using some braided line for this because it's easier to see than the monofilament. And I also use braided as well as mono to use this knot on my rigs. So it works equally. If you use thinner type of braided line, some brands have that slick coating on it and I've had them slip, but mono more so when it's wet. And when I say slip, it's usually the lighter poundage, like 6, 8 pounds is probably the ones that I have the most problems with. But let me show you how I tie a regular Palomar and my two modified Palomars. First, show you the simple Palomar that everybody knows. You have your line here. It can be either be braid or monofilament. So you double it up, put it through the eye of the swivel or the eye of the hook. All right. Come around. See that? You go through making a simple granny. All right. The line is already wet. I already sprayed it down. Then you put your swivel through it like so. Tighten up. Now that is your normal Palomar. But the problem with this knot is that sometimes if you use very light braid, like if you're using like about 5-pound braid, 3-pound braid, or using mono like 6 to 8, 6 is the danger zone. This knot will slip. Okay, I've had that happen. Other people are complaining recently that I know that has it happen. So, but for the thicker line like this, there's no problem. So this here is the regular Palomar. Okay, this is my modification 1. Okay, I already sprayed down the line, so it's been sprayed down with water. So I'm gonna again start the Palomar. We're gonna put the double line through the loop of your swivel or your hook, all right? Now, this one here is the one I use the most of all my two modifications. See how it's going through this one time? All right, now I'm gonna go through one more time. Watch this. Look at that. Going through another time. That's 2 times I've gone through that. That's all you have to do. See that? 2 times. So you just continue with your normal Palomar. See, the reason why I do it like this is because now there's less chance for slippage because now the double line has gone through that twice. There's more friction involved than before, right? And just bear in mind that because there's more friction, you can tell because when you try to cinch up on it, that's harder to cinch. Really, really harder to cinch. That's why you have to wet it because friction is your enemy. If you don't wet this, you're going to create friction and heat, and that would destroy the line and the knot. But see that? Look at that. That's a beautiful, beautiful modified double Palomar. All right, this is the second modification. I don't use this too much. I'm going to show it because it does work, but it's not my preferred one. I prefer the one I just showed. So you get your double line, put it through your swivel, like so, see? And with this swivel here, you see, you come around, you make your loop, and you loop it through once, but instead of looping through once, you do it again. Loop it through twice. Now this one works because it creates friction. See, twice. Now you just use this loop here, put it through, put your swivel through that loop, like so. This one's a little bit more humbug to draw on. There. And that's it. I mean, this one holds too, but I prefer the one I showed earlier. But this is the second way of making that knot. As you can see here, it's a nice knot. Both knots like this, I've never had it break, all right? So this is my way of solving the problem of either having wet braid that will slip or having monofilament with a very slick coating that will also slip. Granted, those usually happen because of a few particular brands are slipperier the most because of the coating put on. And even with the braid, if it's a lighter braid, it's bound to happen depending on how much force you put on it. But that's one of the dangers of using lighter line. So hopefully this will solve a lot of your questions. And I do use the first modification. This here's the second. The second works, but the first also works. Thank you.